All right, everyone. So we have a major spoiler here. So click away now if you don't want something spoiled. But this is from eWrestling News. Top WWE star to turn heel on Seth Rollins down the line. WWE is reportedly set to pull the trigger on a Raw star to turn his back on Seth Rollins. On this week's edition of Monday Night Raw, the seeds were sown about the same. The Visionaries group's comprises Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman. The alliance came to fruition at WrestleMania 41, where Heyman betrayed both CM Punk and Roman Reigns to join forces with Rollins. The duo of Breaker and Reed was later added to the faction post-showcase of the Immortals. According to the report from Bodyslam.net, WWE's reporting initiated plans for an eventual split with the Architects faction. While an immediate breakup isn't anticipated, the report suggested that the group's unity might be temporary, with an internal implosion already in the works. The long-term strategy is expected to culminate in Braun Breaker turning heel on Seth Rollins. Okay, so this could certainly happen, right? I definitely am not going to say that I can't see it. I definitely can see it. With that being said, I think WWE has to be very careful how they do it, because I think what we're seeing right now from this faction is exactly what WWE has needed since the bloodline has gone away. We have this faction, we have obviously the Judgment Day, which is another good one, and you do have a newer version again of the bloodline, and we'll see that could certainly become a really good one as well. But I'm just going to say I like a lot of it. Even last Raw, I mean, we talked about it in our reaction to it. It dominated. Okay, let's be clear what happened. It dominated the show. It was basically the entirety of the show. So when I think about that, I go, why would you ruin it? You could have this kind of heel turn at any point, and you want to make it matter, right? You want to make it matter as much as when Paul Heyman turns, that happened, right? That's what you want to have happen. You want it to be as meaningful as the Paul Heyman turn. And I think you can do that if you really build this up as a major faction and there's a lot of winning in all of this, right? I really do think you'll be able to get that. So I'm excited that this is something that will happen, because this will take Braun Breaker into the main event scene, no questions asked. But they got to be very, 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 very careful with how they do it, right? They have to be very, very careful with how they do it, because if you do it too early, it might not have the emotional impact that you want it to have. And if you do it too late, people might be over the storyline, and you don't want that either. So I think, taking a good look at both, and we'll see when they end up doing it. But I'm loving this has turned into, and I was so pumped. If you go back and watch our videos right away, there were reports, and this is why, you never know what you can believe and not believe. There were reports basically saying that they didn't want to really expand the faction out too much. And I think they did a perfect job. They picked the perfect people: Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Paul Heyman, and Seth Rollins. It's just enough to make it feel like it's a threatening faction while not having too many people in it. And so if it is Braun Breaker that turns heel, and I don't know, like I said, when it's going to happen, but if that does happen, that will be one hell of a main event match between those two. Thank you all for watching.